Silver prices continue to be lagging, but does this mean that the metal will normalize soon? Joining us today is Lobo Tiggre, principal analyst and editor of the Independent Speculator and a Kitco contributor. Lobo, thank you so much for joining us again. Happy to be back on the show, Daniela. So, Lobo, as you know, the gold-silver ratio at 85 currently, but you've said before that the ratio is actually a very bad predictor of silver prices. So, what can we expect?
Yes, it's not a good predictor of silver prices because the fact that it's extreme does tend to encourage one to think it will close, but that doesn't mean silver will go up. It could mean gold will go down, right? You know, what catching up is, you know, there could be catching down too, which is not good. But what's really interesting, if you look at the charts, if you look at gold and silver prices over the long term, percent change, is that you see what we all know, that silver is more volatile, right? So when things do take off, we can expect silver to outperform gold. But the other thing that's really interesting to me is that in the last few years, we've seen the widening discrepancy of silver versus gold. And unfortunately, that hasn't been very good for silver prices recently. But it does tell us that it's not just, you know, copycatting gold, that silver is marching to the beat of an increasingly different drummer. And this could actually be very good news. There's a silver lining here in that I'm actually, I don't want to say bearish, but I'm concerned that there's a risk for safe haven assets in the very near term. If you look at market behavior, you know, obviously what's going on Wall Street is not driven by fundamentals. It's not valuation. It's not a value buyer's market right now. But FOMO, fear of missing out,
right,
is clearly a powerful force today. And this couples with what I'm hearing from not just the talking heads on financial media, but you know, my own clients who are money managers and so on. There's a lot of money still on the sidelines, and there's a lot of, you know, appetite for risk-on assets. If that happens, you know, if we, you know, we're already a hair's breadth below the recent record highs on the major indices. If they start hitting more record highs, that could trigger massive FOMO buying this summer, which would obviously be bearish for safe haven metals or any safe haven assets. And this brings us back to our friend silver, right? If silver is disconnected from gold, and if it looks like good times are here, money piles into industry, you could actually see silver outperform gold. You could see the industrial demand for silver, which particularly is one of the energy metals, right? The photovoltaic cells, the solar panels. That's going gangbusters, and those things use a lot of silver. So it's a very interesting setup for silver.
Okay, so just to recap, if we do see this FOMO and people piling into equities here, it would hurt gold but not silver because of the fundamentals.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say it would hurt silver less than gold, and that it's possible, I'm not predicting this, but it's possible that you could actually see silver hold on or rise while gold falls. You know, that would be quite something, and it would, I think that could really light a fire under the silver market if it happens. But I'm not going so far as to predict that.
All right.
I will say I'm not selling anything. Like I'm afraid that this might happen in the sense I see all the pieces there, but it could go the other way.
Well, you know? in your latest commentary on Kitco.com, you were saying you definitely have not given up on silver, but until this scenario plays out in the summer, are you expecting investors to stay on the sidelines?
I don't know. If they listen to me, they probably will go to cash and hold some. You know, we have the summer slump, right? The so-called quiet season of the summer. We call it shopping season. We used to in KC Research when I worked there, and so I like having cash now in advance of a possible melt up in the mainstream markets, which would put the safe haven assets that I like on sale. Because, you know, other than this short term, I'm extremely bullish on both gold and silver. You know, looking at what's going on in the world.
Right. So
I think that only goes one way. So I would definitely see a summer buying opportunity as exactly that.
How about in this moment, Lobo? You said you're not selling silver, but before the summer comes, would you be buying here, or are you waiting for that dip?
I would take that on an equity by equity basis. If I saw something that I really liked and it went on sale, you know, stupid cheap price, I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't care what happens over the summer. If there's one of these successful growing producers or a discovery story that's delivered gangbusters and it goes on sale because Mr. Market, you know, has a hissy fit,
right?
I would thank Mr. Market and take those shares right off his hands right away. I wouldn't wait.
Okay, well, we'll see how this will play out. Good stuff from you, Lobo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Danielle.
And thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.